Hey everyone, what's up? Yeah, this is a bit of a package opening, but first of all, we're going to do a bit of a channel update. Just a bit of a one, as best I can. I'm kind of checking the security camera. My mom's kind of asleep right now, so I'm just checking because if she moves, then I'll have to stop this and redo it again, so, like I did earlier. But, yeah, a little bit of. But the reason I'm doing this vlog is basically in about I would say 16. Well, right about now, depending on where you live here in the United States, school is starting to start back up. Teachers are going back and getting prepared to welcome the students or new students to class to the first day of school and stuff. So they're going out and either through the school budget or their own budgets, buying up a lot of supplies and stuff to get, for the classrooms for the students to use if necessary. Like if they don't have folders or pencils and stuff like that, they'll have them right there for them just in case. So yeah, depending on where you live, a lot of schools are getting ready to bring their kids back, if not already. School's getting back in back in session, I should say. Sorry about that. And you're looking at and with school coming back in session, a lot changes come along with it. Like I said, like I was saying, basically, what I'm trying to say is depending on what retailer you shop at or even who you work for, whether it's a super center, regular retailer, mall, a retail store in a mall or whatever, one of the primary things that you notice is, like I said, the back to school sales, the clothing, the school necessities that they need for class and stuff, all being promoted and advertised. Well, like I said, that's just an indication that school is coming back in session, and usually that means end of summer vacation. And for people like me who like to provide content on the YouTube channels or Twitch channels or Daily Motion channels or whatever, it pretty much means we have a more open opportunity because we won't have that much interruptions depending on our schedule. You see, a lot of us do work. I mean, I work, of course, and stuff. So my schedule's kind of in flux a little bit. My mom, of course, also works. She's a preschool teacher, so in about 16 days, if you will, she will be going back to school. And hopefully, I'm going to check in a little bit, within those 16 days, I will either have Monday and Tuesday off, the 20th and the 21st, due to the fact that, quite honestly, those are the first 2 days she'll be back at work, and I want to try to have some space to myself to kind of do videos, kind of relax, and kind of have a day to myself from beginning to end, basically from whenever she leaves, which could be 6:37, to whenever she gets back, which could be 4:30, 5:36, depending. So that's my plan initially. Now, speaking of my job, one thing that some of you may or may not know about me is the fact that, like some of you out there, and like many people out there, while I was working, I also had Social Security coming in. I had what was known as SSDI and SSI. I'm not going to get any more details than that. But long story short, I lost the SSI because of my job. I was working and everything, so I couldn't get that anymore. The SSDI, though, was still there. It was still in flux. It was still workable. But of course, with a lot of government changes, depending on who the president is, depending on who's in office and stuff like that, basically a lot of rule changes of how much you can make came into play. And so, ironically, just like with any retail job or any job period, or any company that you work for, worldwide, nationwide, whatever, in time, depending on the quarters or the year or whatever, your payment, your payment, if you will, or what you get paid an hour increases. In other words, you get a bit of you get basically a bit of a raise. It could be $1, it could be 70 cents, it could be 80 cents, it could be any amount, basically. It could be $2, $5, who knows. But you get an increase. And sometimes it's basically based on either you and your fellow associates, your store overall, your job overall, your store that you work for has been safe, when it comes to not having accidents, fall upon customers or fellow associates, stuff like that. Or you've attained a goal, and sometimes that goal is to get as many credit card applications applied for by customers and stuff like that. And sometimes that will lead to, like I said, raises happening, bonuses happening, and mostly not just that, but also, like I said, well, yeah, but mainly that's what it is: bonuses, raises, whatever. So, long story short, like I said, with a lot of things happening in the government, with them changing the rules and stuff, I ended up today, or yesterday now, losing my SSDI. This is not the first time this has happened to me in my life. I've had several occasions where it's happened to me where I've worked in Kansas for places like Food for Less and the job in the company I'm currently working for now, and Home Depot and stuff like that, to where I've either, and Burger King and Hastings, which was an entertainment store. I ended up working for those companies, and depending on my hours, I would either keep my Social Security, but it would be reduced, or I would lose it. And I ended up losing it after a while. But every time I would go from job to job or be out of work, I'd get it back, and it'd be an increase. Well, I was told recently that, of course, with any job, I had to be reminded that you have to report your wages to Social Security, and that will either let them know whether or not you are eligible to keep your money coming in, or you're going to lose it. And long story short, apparently I went over a certain amount, and this has happened a couple of times, because I basically take the gross net amount of both my checks that I get in a month instead of just one, because you got to be honest with them, because eventually, this being Social Security and the government, they'll find out anyway. I would combine both gross nets of my checks, the 2 checks for the month, or even the 3 checks, depending on the length of the month, I should say, and I would report that to Social Security through the Social Security app. Well, recently, see, I'm kind of keeping an eye on, like I said, the living room right now. But like I said, recently, I started noticing anytime I would apply online, and I'd go on to the Social Security Report Wages app that they had, that anytime I would report my wages, just like I would, I'd always get a reply coming in saying, I would always get an error message, and the message would say, we can't match the information you've given us. And I kept wondering, is there a bug? Is something wrong with their app? What's going on? So yesterday, like I said, I found out, I checked my bank account, and I found out I have no money coming in. And I'm thinking, what's going on? So I call them up, And of course, at first, like anybody, I try to call the national line, the national 1-800 number, and I'm told my wait time is about almost 55 minutes to an hour. So I say, screw that. So what happened is, basically, I looked onto the site. I clicked the link that they gave me to contact them, just in case anything came up. Clicked on the button that said on the link, or the link that showed that gave me the option to find a local office in my vicinity, and that's how I was able to get the number to the Modesto office. I talked to somebody there, and she went out of her way very kindly and patiently to help me out and explain to me what happened. And basically what happened is I went over the amount that I thought wasn't going to hurt, because originally I thought it was like something around 14, if you will, 1400, or 1-400, something like that. But instead it was actually 1-1150 is what it was. 1-150. So what I thought originally was wrong, because instead I went above the 1-150 deal several times, and I explained to the lady, well, I work, and basically there are times I get bonuses and things like that. So long story short, she said they sent a letter out and basically indicated that the letter states that basically I no longer get Social Security. My benefits are done. So now I was left with an option. And surprisingly, after I had this conversation with her, I think God kind of calmed me down a little bit. It's like God kind of, in his own way, spoke to me, and he says, this isn't a bad thing. And I really wasn't upset about it, because I kind of predicted something like this would happen, or was anticipating it. It's just what it was. It caught me by surprise, because I became so accustomed to the third of every month of having something in there. So anyway, to close this out, I basically made the decision. I talked to my mom, I talked to my family, talked it over, and I made the decision that instead of cutting my hours down, because I've become so accustomed to working this many hours, and I have this peace about it, that I'm just going to change up my schedule a little bit. And my schedule now is going to be like this once it becomes finalized, starting August 25th, which is my mom's birthday. Starting August 25th, hopefully, things will be worked out, that I will basically be having the weekend off. I will have Saturday and Sundays off, which means I'll be working 40 hours Monday through Friday, basically doing what I'm doing now, which is 8:30, which is basically working the 8:30 hour, but I will also be getting out at 5:30. Now I had to fill out a form indicating this, and basically it said minimum hours, like 6 to 8 a day, kind of daily deal, and then 35 to 40, or something like that. If something's wrong, they'll correct me about it. I'll check it out. But yeah, basically I was allowed. So basically I filled out an application stating that my hours, hopefully, if I did things right, are going to be changed from 8:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, and I'll have the weekends off. Now, does that mean I'm going to go Monday through Friday 8:30 to 5:30? Absolutely not. It's just basically saying 40 hours a week, that's what he can work. He can work between 35 to 40, but it also means that if we're slow and there's not much going on, or we have too many people, it could cut me back, and they could say, let's just have him do 8:30 to 12:30, or 1:30 to 5:30, and they could do that. But showing that I'm willing to do it this way kind of shows that I'm ready to take that next step to hopefully probably get a chance to be what's known as a backup customer service manager, CSM, or maybe even get a chance to move into another area like home lines, like one person is hoping I will do. But anyway, that's pretty much what's going on with me and my job right now. So anyway, with that said, let's get into some package openings. I'm checking the video still checking my home security. I got 2 in today. I got a couple more coming this week, and that's gonna kind of change a little bit too. If I get any packages through Amazon, it's gonna be through my Amazon card, of course. So that's a blessing right there. But I'm gonna have to build that back up now with my job. And the other benefit is I'm probably gonna be making more, doing it this way. Anyway, like I said, hold on. Well, like I said, oh, shoot, no. Anyway, like I was saying, basically I ended up getting 2 packages. I got more on the way. One right now is currently in flux, if you will. One's currently in flux. I don't know why this froze right here for a second. Don't you just hate it when your phone starts to act up a little bit? I don't know why it does that. It acts up, I think, and it gets hot too, so I'm wondering if that's it. But anyway, I ended up getting a couple packages here. I'm checking the time right now, and trying to make sure my phone's working properly. Which apparently it's not right now, I don't know why. Reset or restart. But anyway, like I said, I got a couple packages here, so let's see what I have here. I have time-wise, I have about... Well, I'm probably going to have to do this in a second video, so you guys, consider this channel update for the summer, for the upcoming... consider this a channel update for what's to come, starting in a few weeks. So, be back in a little bit, guys.